Hey Aquarius, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. We're going to take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. If I don't catch your wavelength here, go check your other major placements. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Okay, another book. Great. And then after, we're going to start this with the Oracle of Oracle decks. Let's see, Work Your Light and Moonology, and then we'll move to a more traditional tarot spread. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. It helps other people find the channel, and it also gives me a little kick. Feels good. All right, what do we have here? And it is a very gray and dark day, and I really don't want to get all my lights out, so it's just going to be a little bit of a darker thing. Oh, don't complain. You should have seen Virgos last week. It was kind of funny because it was all about like not being able to see something or something like that. Anyway, it just got darker and darker and darker until like I could barely see at the end. All right, what do we have here? Oh, rarely get that one. Okay. Huh. There's some internal dissonance between some of them. We have your commitment is being tested, first quarter moon. Stay strong, stay focused. You may lose the plot for a little bit. These clouds may come in and cloud your vision, cloud your original intent of what you were meaning to do, what you wanted to do, what your goal was. But this is saying that even there might be some just your commitment's being tested. So there's going to be some testing. There's going to be some, you might not feel like doing it. You might get bad feedback. You might, there might be some obstacles come up in your way that make it very difficult for you to hold the vision. But your commitment is being tested. Yet at the same time, new moon in Capricorn, your hard work is paying off or is going to pay off. That's what I see it as, because it's new moon. We have new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is going to pay off. It's the beginning of something or the beginning of some sort of cycle. So your hard work is going to pay off, but you're going to have to hold the faith for a little bit. There's going to be some glitches, some difficulties. It wouldn't be life without that. So there's going to be some glitches, some difficulties. Okay, but it's going to pay off. Your patience, your hard work, it's going to pay off. So stay with it, even though you may not be getting the results you want right now, or you may not be able to see where this is all going right now. It'll be worth it eventually. So what is that? Long-term goals, long-term commitments, delayed gratification. That's what we're talking about here, delayed gratification. So you also have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. And Inner Temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Well, let me show them to you. Here's Inner Temple. So meditation, tuning into the portal of your heart. I think that is about like maybe opening up to some spirit guides or figuring out something about the overall plan or learning something. Portal, we're talking about some sort of ability to see beyond where you're at right now. Ability to see beyond where you're at right now. That's what this is. Ability to see beyond. Once these clouds come in, you're going to have to hold on to your ability. I mean, they couldn't really do a card that was just clouds like it is now. Just clouds and no ability to see the moon, right? It's Moonology. We had to have a moon in here, but we see that the moon, some clouds are coming in. So you're going to have to continue seeing the moon, but see it in your heart, because you're not going to be able to see it. It's not happening right now in reality. So you're going to have to keep your vision to see that moon, but you're going to have to see it through the portal of your heart, not through reality this week. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. What I see this card as is the blueprints. Not even just the blueprints for something, but like talking to the architect about making the blueprints for something. So this is before the plan before the plan. So there's something, I feel like seeding the light, I feel like there's seeds being planted right now that are going to come to fruition. So you have this vision, you have this idea, it is going to pay off. For now, you're just going to have to envision it in your heart. But seeds are being planted. Seeds are being planted. It's not happening right now. It will, but it's not happening right now. And then you have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? So some kind of teaching, leading, taking initiative. Taking initiative maybe to plant these seeds, to get something going, or passing on whatever lessons you're learning here, passing those on, making sure that you're not hoarding your lessons, but you're, I mean, well, we all are here learning different things, right? If I've learned anything, it's that advice is not one size fits all. The lessons that you learn are not the lessons everybody else needs to learn. They're specific to you. So allow yourself to be special that way, that some of the lessons you might be learning are specific to you, so you don't need to go around telling everybody to do it that way, because that was actually something you specifically had to learn and isn't necessarily a general overall wisdom. But with this Priestess card, you could be hitting on something that that you need to pass on, a wisdom. Could be hitting on something that needs to get passed on, that other people will find helpful. Part of your path that other people will find helpful someday. All right. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Again, ridiculously beautiful cards. What on earth? Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous deck. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Catrin Welz-Stein. We're used to me using the Oracle Mystical Moments. However, she just came out with this deck, and I'm so in love with it. Okay. All right, in your recent past, Aquarius, you have Wheel of Fortune. Fortune's changing, things happening, things changing out of your control. This card, though, I always think of it as the outside world, but this is like the behind the scenes mechanisms of how this world works, of the luck, the opening of the curtain, the closing of the curtain, the opening of the scene, the closing of the scene, how this all works. It's all, and we as audience members, it all seems very, it's all out of our control. We're just sort of watching this whole thing play out in front of us. But these are the gears. This is a glimpse into the backstage here, into what's going on back behind the curtain, under the skirts of life. So Wheel of Fortune, though, talks to me about how these things that are out of our control, that we can't quite grasp the mechanism of. It's not something we can sort of surf that wave when it comes, but we don't get to control it, and we don't have a say in the wave. So Wheel of Fortune is just our fortunes shifting, turning. It's that Lady Luck. Who knows when she shows up? Who knows when she doesn't? You can't control that aspect. The aspect that's out of your hands, the inner machinery of life, the inner workings of life, where time moves, and somehow what was up yesterday is down today, and what was down yesterday is up today. So those shifts in fortune. So you've had a shift in fortune here. And then in your current situation, you have the Hermit card. This could be being alone, being single, being alone. But of course, you would know that. We don't need to go to tarot to know if you're single or not. Maybe we do, actually. There are some situations like that. But this is a timeout. This is a timeout away from other people, a little bit of isolation possibly, but a look to your own inner guidance system, getting clarity, a lot of clarity from your own inner guidance system, from what you want to do. And in this card, it shows like a vast vision, but I think it's just a vast vision of your own inner world, of your own feelings, of who you are. I think, and this light just lights us up. This is getting in contact with your own North Star, your inner North Star, your consulting your broken compass, like Captain Jack Sparrow, and watching what it really wants and seeing it. That's what she's doing here, is consulting her inner compass to see what she wants. What do you want? What's your vision? Where do you want to go next? And I think this is this like inner temple energy here of connecting with your vision and holding your vision. I mean, she's literally holding her vision on a string here. So I like the idea of fishing around for what it is you want. I mean, man, if any card in this deck talks about Captain Jack Sparrow, it's this one, like the mermaid tears and the little tower out there that they exploded. That was a much later what do you call that film? But sequel. Anyway, your concern is getting stuck in this hangman situation. This is your hopes, fears, and inner landscape. And you're worried about this. You don't want to get in this hanged man situation. You can get way up in your head. I mean, the hermit right here and the hanged man, this is your fear. You're worried that you're going to get stuck here for a long time, that this isn't going to open, that this zipper is hella jammed and it's not opening at all. And what happens here is the blood rushes to your head. And typically, so you could be hoping, this is hopes, fears, and inner landscape. You could be hoping for a timeout, right? Because this is where you're at. You're in the timeout. You're hoping for a timeout, maybe. Think things through, figure some things out, get your head around something while the machinery of life gets a little unjammed here. We're talking about the machinery of life. And that's what this always reminds me of, is this machinery of life has gotten jammed. The zipper's gotten jammed here. And these gears, when they get jammed, the gears that do move are the internal gears. So externally, it's Thich Nhat Hanh, The Wisdom of No Escape. It's a book advisedly, because sometimes we absolutely have to move and leave situations, which is coming out right underneath this. Sometimes we absolutely have to, and some of these Buddhist principles of staying put and just accepting what is get misunderstood. As you just have to, whatever anybody wants to do to you, whatever situations you're powerless. But that's not really the point. But it can feel that way sometimes when talking about those teachings. But it is about accepting what is, and then what do you do once you realize that this is what it is. And that's where I see you going, because you're actually, this hanged man is right over the Six of Swords. So Six of Swords is not accepting what is. So this hanged man here, this is hanging out the machinery of life. This wheel of fortune has been jammed here, gotten a little jammed, and thinking. The hanged man situation can end up in some overthinking, some over-analyzing about how we got here, and that could be a little bit of what's going on in your inner landscape. Some over-analysis of it's just the luck of the draw. It's just the machinery got jammed. That's all that happened. And it's not necessarily having to do anything to do with you, but that can be very confusing, because some situations do have to do with our mentality and some situations aren't always going to have to do with our mentality. So there could be some confusion on whether this is something you're supposed to be thinking through and then you'll eventually get there, or whether this is something where and you'll eventually get the machinery to move by changing yourself and changing the inner machinery and adapting. Or if this is just like luck of the draw, shit happens, what are you going to do? Don't overthink it. Because you are really thinking and really looking for your own light. So this hanged man energy, you could be frustrated, you could be really worried that you're going to get stuck here, or that you're going to get stuck someplace for a while, and nothing's going to move forward. What's at issue here is this Three of Cups. This is a breakdown of communication, of friendship, of not having fun, not having a group of friends, not being able to hang out with your friends. Well, yeah, there's almost like a ridiculous amount of redundancy here. You're in hermit mode, ergo, no hanging out with friends. Friend issues, friend problems, not having the ability to communicate your hopes, your fears, not having the ability to play with your friends or play around that way, and feeling a little isolated. I mean, with the Hermit and the Hanged Man here, these are two cards that can be pretty heavy on isolation. So there could be a sense of feeling very isolated. You have this Wheel of Fortune, so some things happened, some things changed outside of your control that has you very isolated here, away from your friends and not really feeling part of the group, part of the team, feeling a little left out here. In your environment, we have Nine of Cups. This is hoping for an emotional win. I just saw 1414, so if that's important to you. This is hoping for an emotional win here. She's got her trophies all fanned out here, but not hoping. This is someone in your environment who seems to be very emotionally satisfied, very happy, has a lot of friends, has a strong social life, is very satisfied with their life, is very emotionally happy with their life, and might be a bit of a show-off. So you might be dealing with someone who is a bit of a show-off with what goes on, with how happy they are. And here you're feeling isolated and alone and and lonely, and then you've got someone in your environment that's like, I'm very happy, what's wrong with you? Well, I don't know if that's the way they're coming at it, but there's someone here that's very happy. They could just be like, hey, I'm really happy, and you're like, okay, fine, that's great, I'm happy for you too, fun. But you're not. But this is someone who's got a lot of emotional fulfillment. They've got, 9 friends, good friends, and they've got, they've had some successes. They've had a lot of successes. I don't know if they're bragging or just so much as they could just be asking their community for support or saying like, hey, something cool has happened to me. It might feel like bragging to you, especially since your machinery is jammed and you're not having much fun here and you're feeling isolated, alone, overthinking things and not able to hang out with people. Your to-do list. So this isn't necessarily a to-do list. You better cross it off. Put a little tick next to that to-do list. But this is just looking for opportunities to engage with this energy. So this is Page of Wands. This is you being very curious about something. Maybe even getting an intuitive hit on something and going in a little deeper. Like, oh, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. Or getting very curious, looking at something more closely. You've gotten an intuitive hit. There's some sort of intuitive thing here, and you're learning about it. The page is all about learning, trying to understand something. Maybe you're trying to understand your path, or trying to understand how this other person got this, or trying to understand where your situation is. But there's something very intuitive about here. It could be learning. So the pages are student, our learner. So learning about wands, which are going to be like sexuality, a creative endeavor, or even intuition. So you might be wanting to learn about intuition, taking a closer look at one of those aspects, a creative field, maybe looking more closely at a creative endeavor. Maybe, you might want to branch out or learn something new, learn about a new way of being creative, singing or painting or learning some sort of new, those all sound like hobbies, but they're actually really crucial. They're not just hobbies, they're very crucial to our health and well-being. So whether you intend on moving towards that in a career or not, it doesn't matter. We still need those forms of self-expression to bring our uniqueness into the world. So there's something here that's caught your eye for sure, and you're taking a closer look at it. That's your to-do list. Take a closer look at something that fascinates you, has caught your eye, that is intriguing. You're intrigued. So taking a closer look at that. So that's the energy that you're being called into, or looking for an opportunity to engage with something. And where you're going, Six of Swords. This is leaving behind something that's been very painful. This is there's an uprooted sense here. And this is sort of one of the leap of faith cards. The other leap of faith cards you have, just like, this sounds good, I'll go, or there might be some danger here, but I want to go anyway, or I see something more fulfilling over there and I want that. This one is a leap of faith just away from something. We're not talking about where you're going. There's no known destination. It's just the up anchor. It's just time to uproot, it's time to up anchor, and it's time to let spirit take you to a new place. Because this place is very unhappy. You are very unhappy where you're at right now. And it could be this isolation, it could be this overthinking things, this sense of not knowing what you want, but you're getting curious about something. Explore some sort of possibility, because there's this sense of isolation here and having been stuck for a really long time. And the machinery of life and some sort of happenstance has gotten you sort of alone and stuck here. And it seems like you're going to be here forever, isolated. Other people seem to be having a good time. Other people seem to be happy. And so you're supposed to inspect something. It could be an activity, something that you might want to do even with all the restrictions in place. You might want to look more closely at what you can do, what is possible, what's intriguing you right now. Your commitment is being tested for sure, because you got this holding pattern all over the place here. Your hard work is going to pay off, and maybe that hard work is that curiosity and trying to unravel something, trying to figure out a mystery, because we definitely have someone following clues, and they're hot on the trail of some kind of mystery. So that's you this week. hard on the trail of some kind of mystery. And then where you might be going is going, leaving this painful, isolated place behind. And just whatever, I don't even care what lies ahead. I just have to leave this painful, horrible place right here. So you might be discovering something, discovering a new way of doing something, or discovering more of what's available to you, more of what's open to you, and taking steps to go away, to leave behind some of this isolated, painful place, or this stuck place. So it comes under this Hanged Man. So I'm seeing the Six of Swords. The Hanged Man is you being afraid that you're going to be stuck here forever. But as you get more curious and let your curiosity drive you forward, and let your curiosity and a sense of exploration pull you forward, you'll end up either consciously or unconsciously leaving behind this stuck energy. So I don't see you as stuck, but moving from this stuck energy into an unsettled energy, not knowing what lies ahead, but knowing that what lies behind isn't for you anymore. And your curiosity drives that. And then we have the wild Kuan here. Some grace carries you home. At the end of your efforts, when your resources are exhausted and you are without further recourse, I am there for you with loving wild grace to carry you home. So I do see some exhaustion and frustration here in this reading. So, all right, I hope that was helpful for you, Aquarius. And I also hope that you have a wonderful week.